I don't actually have the pictures of the children involved in this story. I don't even have their names, but I don't even think it's necessary right now. If you guys look at this story, you find it, and you end up finding out the actual children that passed away, it poses no danger to them anymore because they're not living anymore. If you have that information, you can email it to me so I can at least pay tribute and homage to them, and I can post their pictures. If you have them, you can email it to me. But this story is just, I think every month I come across a story and I'm just like, I just don't think they can get any worse, any stupider, any more callous, any more demonic. And then you see a story like this and you're just like, oh my goodness, Satan is real. Okay? Let me give you guys a disclaimer, and I think I'm going to need to give you more of a disclaimer than this just by way of the details. All right? Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. Let me give y'all another disclaimer, which I'm going to put this here at the top. Content warning. So YouTube, don't flag my video. YouTube, please. I would love to have some monetization. That would be amazing at some point. Like 99.9% of my videos get zero monetization, which sucks. But nonetheless, content warning. The following video contains material that may be harmful or traumatizing to some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Please don't flag my videos. The two imbeciles that you guys see, these hoodbillies, these hillbillies that y'all see on my screen, listen to what they did. A probable cause arrest affidavit details how a mother and father from Indiana allegedly killed their two children and then burned their bodies in a fire pit in the backyard after excavating them from their homemade graves. That's the end of the video right there. Just stop it right there. I don't need to say anything else. Woo. Their souls are required in hell. Did y'all hear that? And I'm going to repeat it. They allegedly killed their children. Now, according to one person, actually said they heard this man admit to this. Allegedly killed their children, so their children were dead. They ended up burying their children in the backyard in homemade graves. And then at some point, excuse my language, these fucking fools, these deranged idiots, dug them up from their homemade graves, dug their dead own children's bodies up, and then made a bonfire, a fire pit, to completely burn the remains so that they could disintegrate the evidence. You don't like my language, I get it. But what other words do you want me to use? Stephen Valley, 31 years old, that dude. Samantha Sabella, 25 years old, are facing charges of murder, neglect of a dependent causing death, abuse of a corpse, and failure to report a dead body. This should get you 4 to 5 life sentences in prison. The Jasper County Sheriff's Office said deputies began investigating September the 20th after one of the couple's friends contacted the agency about Valley, confiding in him, and he said, quote, "I killed my 2 kids." The affidavit obtained by Law and Crime, that's what it said. When the friend inquired further, Valley, the dad, on the right now, on the right up here, allegedly said that he smothered their firstborn, but had drowned the secondborn, and burned their bodies in a fire pit at their house. I'm just curious if anybody wants to give him and her the excuse of mental illness. Just Jay, yous don't knows what they was going through. Days was stressed out. Mental illness, y'all. Want to give them an excuse for mental illness? Police referred to the dead children as undocumented, meaning they were born at the home and never received any documentation like a birth certificate or a social security number, and probably have never seen a doctor. Y'all remember that video on my channel, the series called Oklahoma House of Horrors? Y'all might want to go back and look at that video again and look at those tapes. Remember how that man ended up, God, I don't even want to say it. He ended up producing children by his wife's daughter, multiple children, and nobody knew nothing. This is just beyond weird. Detectives found Valley and Sabella, mother and father, at a hotel in Newton County. They denied any knowledge, but police took their phones as evidence. Meanwhile, a third undocumented child was removed from their custody. So you at least have evidence that this is what they do, by way of a third child that I guess ain't dead. On September the 30th, the Sheriff's Office, Indiana State Police, Jasper County Coroner's Office, along with 2 cadaver dogs, descended on the property in Wheatfield where the mom and dad used to live. The couple had reportedly been evicted from the property earlier this year. The dogs alerted to 3 separate locations on the property where investigators uncovered bone fragments. Police took the fragments to a specialist in Indianapolis for testing to determine if they were from an infant or an animal. The bones were determined to be human remains. Data extraction on October 1st of Sabella's phone unveiled incriminating text messages between her and the dad. She allegedly texted him shortly after 11 a.m. on September the 17th, and she said, and I quote, "Guess what, baby killer?" About an hour later, she texted him, "You killed my kids because you are a F something something T. You never loved me." I don't know what she was actually saying there. The next day, Valley allegedly responded, "Yeah, I know. The fire will be known for what you did." Sabella also reportedly texted, "You killed our babies. I have their DNA in body forever, and they will know everything. You took me to the doctor in 2017 to prove that I was pregnant. They will know." So it sounds like she's trying to make herself sound like she was innocent in this situation, and I don't think she was. Police also allegedly found a quote-unquote babysitter app on her phone that documented the progress of her pregnancy and uploaded key dates to her Google Calendar. On Thursday, detectives confronted Valley with this evidence. He admitted Sabella gave birth to a boy in 2018 while he was on his way home, the affidavit said, but when he arrived, he claimed that he found Sabella passed out with the child between her legs, not breathing. He said the boy weighed about 10 pounds and was about 18 inches long. Boy, let me take a breath for that for a moment. Lord have mercy. Said mental illness is not an excuse. Thank you. I agree. Thank you. Stephen, the dad, said he cleaned him up to make him look pretty, quote unquote, wrapped him in a baby blanket, face exposed, and placed him in a box. the affidavit said. Stephen said after 3 days, he knew the child wouldn't be coming back to life, so he wrapped him completely in the blanket and buried him in the backyard near a shed. Valley reportedly told investigators that sometime after the boy's death, Sabella became pregnant again. Oh my God. These people are disgusting. To just act like human life doesn't mean anything, and all they can think about is continuing to engage each other sexually and continue to produce more children that they don't give a shit about. I don't understand that. She became pregnant again. This time she gave birth to a premature girl in the bathtub while he was at work. Boy, woo. According to the affidavit, he claimed the girl was dead when he got home. He said he buried her next to the boy. The children were buried for about 3 to 5 years before he dug them up and burned them in the fire pit. He allegedly sifted through the ashes and saw some bone fragments. Stephen stated that he kept some of the ashes to make a necklace as a memento. Sabella and Valley remain in jail. Oh my goodness. People like this don't deserve freedom. They don't deserve rights, and they should never get out of prison ever again. Let me give you guys a fair usage. I only got like maybe 1 or 2 news videos. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. And it's just like you think it just can't get no worse, and it just keep getting worse. Man, pray for the child that survived. Just to keep doing this to human lives is flat out ridiculous, and we cannot make excuses for it. Leave a comment in the comment section. I'm sure some of y'all gotta have something to say about this. Please share the story and please make this go viral.
All right, we're learning some chilling new details about a search at a home up in Jasper County that we have been telling you about all week. 2 parents have been arrested and are facing possible murder charges after police found bone fragments at their former home. Stephen Vale and Samantha Sabella also facing charges for neglect, abuse of a corpse, obstruction of justice, and failure to report a dead body. Police arrested and booked them into jail on Thursday. This investigation started more than 2 weeks ago, and new court documents reveal that's when a friend of Stephen's came forward to police and said that he confessed to him that he had killed 2 of his children, burned their remains, and buried what was left of them. The tipster described the kids as undocumented, meaning they were born at home without any records of their existence. Detectives searched the property where the couple used to live and found what are believed to be human bone fragments. In an interview with police, Stephen claimed the 2 children were stillborn, so he buried them and then dug them up several years later and burned their remains. Police say Samantha never told anybody about what happened. Both being held without bond tonight. The prosecutor has yet to make a final charging decision. For more details and any updates on this case, you can always visit our website. That's cbs4indy.com.
A couple in Indiana will be in court today on charges of killing 2 of their children, then burning their bodies.
Let's go to Eric. He's in the newsroom with an update on the case. Eric.
Well, good morning. We actually moved to Jasper County at the courthouse here as the bond hearing for this too is ready to get underway here this morning. The state is asking that the judge hold the couple with no bond until their case goes to trial. Samantha Sabella and Stephen Valet of Wheatfield face a number of felony charges, the most serious 2 counts of first-degree murder. Working off of a tip last month, law enforcement raided the couple's former home in Wheatfield, Indiana, and found bone fragments in a fire pit. They are being tested to see if they are human fragments. Prosecutors say Valet had confided in a friend that he had drowned one child and smothered another. The couple has a 3rd child who is now in the custody of the state.
I want y'all to understand how big of a difference that is with regard to the story that that man is telling. On one end, to say that the children died while the mother gave birth, as opposed to you actually killing them. That's a big, huge difference. Let's hear that again.
That he had human fragments. Prosecutors say Valet had confided in a friend that he had drowned one child and smothered another.
Drowned one child and smothered another. So then you'd have to think, why would this person that you confided in even make that up? Like, it's just like Tommy says, you can't make that up. Like, you can't make up something like that. And the fact that these kids were undocumented, clearly you're not pulling this out of thin air. You can't make up a story like that and then be somewhat close to correct. Drowned one, smothered another, but they died after she gave birth naturally, which I don't believe. I think that he killed them. I think that they both did.
The couple has a 3rd child who is now in the custody of the state. Prosecutors also say there are no birth records for any of the children. The couple is due in court here in about a half hour. We are live in Jasper County, Indiana. I'm Eric Rung, WGN News.
And with that, we say good afternoon. I'm Erica Sargent.
And I'm Joe Donlin. We have several other breaking stories this afternoon, including this. 2 people now charged with murder after officers dug up bone fragments in a backyard in Wheatfield, Indiana this week.
CBS News investigator Dave Savini is here with this big development just in this case, Dave.
Erica and Joe, yeah, this is just developing. These 2 people are Stephen Valet and Samantha Sabella. They are each accused of murder and other charges relating to the abuse of at least 1 corpse at this time. An expert has been examining bone fragments to see if they are animal bones or possibly the bones of 2 infants found in the yard where they once lived.
It's a shame if there's kids buried in the backyard. It's disgusting.
Felony charges have now been approved for 2 people who are accused of murder, abuse of a corpse, neglect of a dependent, and failure to report a dead body, after information surfaced that possibly as many as 2 infants were buried in this Indiana backyard. Authorities were out there digging this week and sifting through dirt. We are told bones were found here, and they are being examined by an expert. Meanwhile, 31-year-old Stephen Valet and 25-year-old Samantha Sabella are facing multiple felonies.
I just seen the couple that lived there. They had a little boy, but I didn't see any other kids.
CBS News has learned an older child from the family in question that used to live at this address has been taken into custody of Child Protective Services. The Jasper County Sheriff's Office said they first received a report on September 20th about an alleged confession from a person to their acquaintances that they had killed 2 of their undocumented children and burned their bodies in a backyard fire pit at the home. Sheriff deputies then launched an investigation and found the couple in question at a hotel in Newton County. They were interviewed by law enforcement and denied the reports. Their cell phones were taken as evidence. The sheriff said additional information was uncovered on those cell phones.
The sheriff and the Indiana State Police conducted follow-up interviews with the suspects. During these interviews, new information came to light, resulting in the arrest of the individuals. They were transported to the Jasper County Detention Center and are being held on probable cause. Probably still waiting for some of these forensics to come back.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dave.
Sure.
I want y'all to tell me, post in the comment section when y'all get a chance, when you really get a chance to kind of look through or even hear some other stories, and tell me, have y'all ever heard of a more heinous, deranged story? Like, we've heard a lot of things. I'm not going to get to just naming a lot of stuff. I haven't heard nothing like this. These people don't deserve to see the light of day ever again. And I hope that they get a life sentence to those 2 souls that died for unknown reasons. RIP to those babies, to the baby that survived. We pray and hope that that baby ends up in the hands of someone that can help it grow up and become something great. And I have no doubt that if you have a good parent, you can have good kids. Flat out disgusting. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section about these 2 damn fools.